Greetings everyone, here is Lodric and this is the game War in the Pacific, Admits Edition. This is my play-by-email match against KilRoy. He is the commander of the Allied forces and for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is now the 21st April, not more December, of 41. And then the last days we saw the more or less successful, I think, landing on Saipan. So the Allied Americans are already taking Marcus Island, they're taking Wake Island, Pegan, and now also Saipan maybe soon. This is now the next amphibious assault on Marcus Island. It's a question of time. All of these islands are disabled, not destroyed, but disabled. But at the same time, also KilRoy have British battleships and carriers cutting off maybe my assault on New Zealand, so this also is a little dangerous. This is one local minesweeper getting intercepted by, I think these are destroyer minesweepers. They are easily sinking. Oh, this was a cruiser tender, a mine tender. But at the same time, my submarines was successful disabling or damaging enemy battleships and carriers, not sinking them, but at least in total, I think 4 torpedo hits on different ships. And I also can intercept him some cargo ship at least, and slow down, I think, everything what KilRoy is planning here. Yeah, more bombardment here in New Zealand and Marcus Island. Still no direct damage, but we're very likely we have here disabling. This is also some bombardment on another base, but in this base I have nothing, but KilRoy maybe simply bombarded anyway to make sure there is nothing hiding. And there's a next mine hit. The ship just hit the mine. And I find here a British submarine. And it's trying to intercept my convoy, but this time I get really many hits, all very small hits, but this is enough to force the submarine to return to port, that for sure. And the next incoming cargo ship getting intercepted. Yeah, and the same happened here in Marcus Island. Now the heavy cruisers are bombarding, and this is a direct hit on my forces. So I don't really have any hope to hold this much longer. But again, it's a slaughter, and the question is who can pay for this more. At the end, for Japan, land forces are always possible to replace. That I think is never an issue. I mean, the question is only how many forces Japan lose in a short period of time. Like if you're losing 5,000 AAV in only 1 week, then it's of course also for Japan impossible to replace it. But if you're losing here now 1, 2, I mean, I have 2 or 3 Navy Guard units, I think, lost in the first battle of Marcus Island, and now maybe 3 more Navy Guard units. That is all light equipment. It only costs you manpower and a little supplies and a little armament stuff. I think tanks are much more complicated for the Japanese to replace. They don't have the heavy industry for this. And if you're losing full divisions on open sea actions, or at my failed attempt on taking Ceylon in the Jochen campaign, that is a game-breaking moment maybe. Oh, one moment, I have a parcel coming. So here nothing happens. The British, this time they are able to create some damage, more or less disable units, but these are all long range attacks. So bomb load is limited. And this scout airplanes, I don't think they can really do anything. They're carrying 20-pound bombs. I don't think there's any possibility. I mean, we're talking about Japanese tanks. But even Japanese tanks, I think, cannot be damaged by 20-pound bombs. I mean, if it's a Russian movie or a Chinese communist movie, then even one Chinese rebel can defeat 10,000 Japanese soldiers with kung fu and, you know, dancing in the clouds. And in the Russian movies, they're stealing one T-34 and defeating 100 German Tiger tanks. All of this stuff. I mean, you can watch it and you can... I don't know, you must take some drugs to understand this kind of movies, maybe. It is very common in China to play this kind of movies non-stop. Wherever you go, you can always see this Chinese, anti-Japanese, Chinese civil war movies. There are always so many kind of these movies. And they're all the same. Cheap, produced, totally unrealistic, and I would say boring. Yeah. Back to some more realistic bombardment, getting rid of these Chinese forces. They're all dying now. And carrier strike on Saipan. So one torpedo hit of course will not stop a carrier. Not really a lot of damage directly, but maybe it's just related to disabling units. And Guam also gets some damage destroyed, or equipment destroyed, and base destroyed. And I don't know, this is super long range. Oh, it looks like long range. KilRoy throw everything what they have in the Central Pacific area from the American side, and everything what is left from the British Navy, I think, is around New Zealand. The New Zealand threat is for me, I think, more important, simply because Saipan, Marcus Island, these are only bases, temporary. I can control them, or I can also give them up temporary. They don't really have any other impact. They're controlling open sea, nothing more. But New Zealand is industry, there are shipyards, there are troops, tons of troops starving. This can have an impact. KilRoy cannot come closer to Japan, it's impossible for him. I have far too many airplanes already. And I think my subs are also always a potential threat for him. I only need to cover the next 2 weeks and hold out, and then I can maybe strike back. I have enough forces in Japan, I only must cover them. So I need aircraft carriers, I need battleships. Good, I try to take Auckland again. I can reduce the fort. KilRoy was able to, I think, build up the fort before. I think it was only a level of fort of level 2. So I reduce it back to level 3. The problem is I was not able to really inflict enough damage. Yes, here 100 disabled units, and this is for the defender, and the New Zealand have only 230. It will help me, but the issue is I have simply no supplies. This was maybe one of the last attacks I can do, because I was not able to unload more supplies. The enemy presence of battleships and carriers are really tightening or make it nearly impossible for me to reinforce my forces. This is only my bombardment on the Allied forces. This is, I take now Norfolk Island, yeah. And now the Allied are taking Saipan, and they cannot overcome my defense. Yeah, I think too disrupted. But it's not that they're really losing anything here. It's a question of time. The counter battery fire, so I have now 144 Allied attack value against 1055 Japanese. Gisborne, it looks like the New Zealand troops getting ready. They're getting the attack value left back. I take this small outpost base. And now shock attack on my Navy Guard units. Okay. Today I can hold. I still have some value left, but the casualties are mounting up on my side, but also on the Allied side. But I will lose this battle sooner or later. Saipan and Marcus Island will fall in the next coming days. But again, I would say, then destroy this Navy Guard units, I don't care. Then destroy this base forces, I can rebuild them. It's okay. It costs the Allies time and effort to take all of this. And the supply line is long for the Allies in this direction. For me, it is very close to Japan. It's the same if I attack Pearl Harbor, more or less. Good. Air losses this day, very light. There was only bombardment but no interception. Ship sunk. This was an American submarine. I thought it was a British submarine. No, this was a mine hit. This was another submarine. This was not the British. So I lost here my mine tender, was intercepted. I tried to bring it into Saipan to tend my mines, because I think I lost my mine tender before, but it was not able. Intercept here some other stuff. This was a destroyer sunk, I think, from last turn. Now official dead, at least in the reports. And this was maybe really... There was a mine hit, I know. Where's the mine hit? Here. Suva. Yeah. Gato tried to enter Suva port and maybe laser mines, but luckily I had a defense minefield, hit the mine and maybe sunk. A mine hit on a submarine is always critical, but the Japanese mines, I think, are not so strong. I think a submarine can handle one mine hit often. Only a double mine hit will be for sure the end for, I think, most of the submarines. Good. So we had no activity in China still. This means no change of the situation. Also in Burma, I try to move up this smaller road, but I get here airstrikes slow me down, and the road is not so good. This needs all time. And I was unloading here additional, I think, base forces. I know they are coming first. So I have here additional reinforcements. I don't know more where they come from. Ah, yeah. This is my army from Sumatra. This is the guys fighting here with this British division, source of Palembang. They are now out of the swamps, back to Palembang, then I load them, and now they're trying to help in Rangoon. If this is enough, I'm not so sure. It's only 200-300 attack value. But it's additional forces I have to spare. Because this army of Darwin is still busy hunting down and destroying these Australian forces. I cannot spare them. And all of my other forces are locked in Fiji, Nomaya, or in New Zealand. Yeah. So these are forces coming and trying to cut me in Hamilton. If I lose Hamilton, then I have an issue. Hamilton I must normally keep. And I must take Auckland as soon as possible. I cannot go in Auckland directly because I'm for sure the enemy of mines. And now here are enemy battleships and cruisers. And so too much equipment is near around New Zealand now for me. And I have nothing really to make it sure. So I need more air search missions to know what is here running really around. So this is why I go for Norfolk Island. Here was the enemy sub in Suva. Here's a minefield. Marshall Islands looks fine. Truk looks fine. Whatever this is. I mean, I only know their enemy task forces, but what they're really doing, it's hard to say. Here are carriers and more equipment. And a lot of equipment in all around Saipan now. Wake is under American control, and Marcus Island is also a lot of bombardments. The base is completely broken. There's no supplies left. I have super high disruption, at least on one of my units, and the second unit also looks not good. Disabled, half disabled, totally disabled. I can stop the bombardment. Yeah. But fighting, delaying, getting honor points, so more points for me at the end where we are now. I come close to 30,000 to 6,000, so I come close to 5-to-1 kill ratio, or point ratio. So, and if you see here, out of my 29,000 points, 12,000 are from army. So the Air Force is doing whatever they're doing, and the Navy also try to create some points. But at the end, the Army is here's a clear winner so far for me. Good. Thank you all. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.